welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I've seen you, so I apologise for that, but I am still struggling with health things. However, I put this picture and video of these ombre nails done with gel polish on the other day and people went mad for it, so I wanted to do a quick video and let you know all how I did it. So I'm going to do a tutorial for you. So for that video I obviously used all the rainbow colours, but the brighter versions. For this video today I'm going to be using neon pink and neon peach. Chose these colours because they're really popular at this time of year, and there's always that sort of sunsetty vibe going around with the black palm trees, and this is a really good background for that to go on. So I'm just going to be using a couple of display tips and a couple of tip holders to show you this on, and I'll also be using two different brushes. I'm going to be using this ombre brush, which I actually just got off of Amazon. I think it costs about £5. I'll find the link and pop it down below for you. As you can see, it's got really firm bristles in the lower half, and then it's just got some more like floppier, not so firm bristles. For the other brush, I'm going to be using this old battered striping brush, sort of like detailer brush. It's a bit battered, so excuse the state of it, but we don't need a good one for this. So as I said, we'll be using neon pink and neon peach, and we're going to be doing the vertical ombre first. So the first step is to go down one half of the nail with your first colour, in this case the pink, and you don't want to be putting too much product on there. I find a lot of the time that where I used to go wrong with a gel polish ombre was I would be putting too much polish on, too much to work with. So you don't want to be putting stacks on there, just, you know, an even amount, sort of as you would a normal gel polish. And then the same with the other side, you want to pop on the other colour on the other half of the nail. So just before you pop your brush back in the bottle, make sure that you haven't got any of the other colour on there to contaminate your product with. And then once you've done that, we're going to come in with this detailer brush and do sort of like a wind wiper motion, going from top to bottom, back and forth, up and down, just blending those colours together. Start in the middle and then creeping out to the left side and then creeping out to the right side, and back and forth and back and forth. And it's really that simple. I think a lot of the time we like to overthink things, but sometimes it really is just that simple. And this is just, you know, I'm not using a huge amount of pressure, just a light pressure, flicking back and forth, and you can see that is like blending together, ombre already beautifully, and that's just with the one coat. A lot of people say as well you need to put down a layer of white before you do ombres or brighter colours. I think that is down to your product. With Halo gel polish, I never have that issue. So once I've done that first layer, I pop that into the lamp to do a full cure before coming back in to do my second layer, and have sped up this part because you've already seen me do it once. I'm just doing exactly the same again. First colour down the one side, the other colour down the other side, making sure there's no excess product on the brush before I pop it back in the bottle, and then just coming back in again to do that wind wiper motion, up and down, back and forth, flicking until I'm happy with the blend. You'll see in a minute that I do come back in with the pink polish because I feel that there's a bit too much orange on there, and the orange is kind of overtaken that pink, the peach, sorry. So I just come in and pop a bit more pink on. Again, check that brush before it goes back in the bottle, and then continue to flick back and forth. And I'm rubbing some of the excess off my brush here onto my hand. I don't recommend doing that, you shouldn't do it, but I was just doing it for quickness. So again, just blending, and once I'm happy with it, I'll pop it in the lamp to cure. Another thing to remember as well is not to be panicking about seeing any of the brush strokes or thinking that you have indentations in your gel polish. That's not going to be a problem. If you let it sit for a couple of seconds before it goes into the lamp, it will level out, and as you can see, that's after it cured and there's no obvious indentations or brush strokes. And once we top coat it, you're not going to see any of that, so you don't need to worry at all. So I'm just coming in with the normal top coat, the tacky top coat from Halo, and I'm using not loads but an ample amount, just to make sure we do fill in any slight divots or anything that might be there from doing those brush strokes, but really you don't have any, so it's not a big problem. So I'm just putting on a layer of this, and then for this particular nail I'm going to come back in with the non-white sparkle top coat from Halo, just because that's what I did on the set that I had posted on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and that everybody had seen. So I'll show you me doing that, and then for the second one, for the horizontal ombre, I'm just going to do it with the glossy clear top coat. So pop that into cure. Once that's cured, come back in with the sparkle top coat. Now some people are finding that they will like to do the sparkle top coat and then put a top coat over it again. I don't generally do that. I don't generally feel the need to do that, and I've never had any issues doing it that way. I know there's been a bit of chit chat at the moment of there being some issues with this top coat. I personally haven't come across them, and I've never had a problem with the sparkle top coat. It's been perfectly fine for me, and I know that Pure Nails are all over any issues that there are anyway. So once you're happy with the coverage, start out really, really thin with this top coat and then build it up, and it is a beautiful glimmer. So for a horizontal version of this ombre, we're going to do the same technique but in the opposite way. So starting at the cuticle end of the nail, we're just going to be popping that pink down again for half of the nail, and then I'll come back in at the free edge with the neon peach and push that down towards the pink, making sure I get a full coverage. So once I've got both of my colours in there, I'm going to come in with my ombre brush. Now I could come in with the detailer brush and use the same method as I did before and go side to side in the wind wiper motion, but if you were doing this on a client, you would be likely to get that onto the skin, and even if you use sort of a silicone barrier, you would still maybe make a bit of a mess. So this is just a little bit cleaner. Now you do need to take your time a bit more with this than you do with the other method. You need to be a little bit slower, and as you can see, it's a very, very slight tapping and pulling motion. So tapping the brush into the product and very, very slightly pulling the product into each other. So when we're working this way, we're pulling the orange into the pink, so we're going pulling the brush away from ourselves and then flipping it around, and the same motion again, tap, 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 and slightly pulling that product down each time we tap, pulling from the other direction, pulling down towards the free edge now. So you do need to be a little bit more careful, and you need to be patient. This isn't one of those things that is really quick and easy to learn. As simple as it looks, this is a little bit more complicated than doing that sort of wind wiper motion we were able to do with the other brush. So just tap, tap, tap in, and until you're happy with the blend that you get. And as you can see, it does blend really easily. I think again, some of the problems that we sometimes find we have is that maybe we do things a little bit too quickly and we just want it to work, so we just dive straight in there. So for this, it's one of those things you need to slow down a little bit. So I am cleaning my brush off in between sometimes if I feel there's too much product building up on that brush on my skin again, which I shouldn't be doing. But once I'm happy with the blend, I'll pop it into the lamp for a full cure, and then we'll come back in and do another layer of that. Polish on there, I'm coming back in and just doing exactly the same as we did before. The other thing I wanted to say about using this brush as opposed to the detailer brush and the wind wiper motion is that you can get right down into the side walls, whereas if you were doing that wind wiper motion, you'd kind of be skipping over the top and not really getting right into the sides, because we've got that natural curve across the top of the nail. So for using this brush means you can get right down to the edges, and I do think for doing the horizontal ombre you do get a better blend using this particular method and this style of brush. As I said, this is just a cheap one from Amazon. I'm sure it cost about £4.65 or something. So once I'm happy with the final blend and the final look, obviously pop that in the lamp for a full cure, and then come in with my top coat. And again, any little brush strokes or anything that you feel have been left behind will quickly disappear under that wonderful glossy top coat, and we can do a full cure of that. So I hope you found this video helpful and that I have explained everything well enough for you to understand. Of course, if you have any questions or anything, you can drop me a message on Instagram, Facebook, or leave me a comment and I will get back to you. So there's the two finished nails. and as you can see, both beautifully blended. You need to be careful when you're first starting out with this about the colours that you choose. Obviously a really dark colour going into a really light colour is going to be a lot more difficult, so choose products and colours that are similar to each other to begin with each other and build up to the more difficult colours. There's another picture of the original set that I had put on that everybody loved so much, and I really like it as well actually. Anyway, as I said, I hope you find this video helpful. Please like and subscribe if you would like to see more, and comment down below anything else that you would like to see, and I'll see you again soon in the next one.